Hi all, I am Disha Shukla and welcome to the session. In this session we are going to discuss about the WAP protocol stack. So as you can see here, there are different protocols that are implemented at different layers, that is the 5 layers defined: application layer, session layer, transaction layer, security layer and transport layer. So there are 5 different types of protocols that have been implemented at each layer and we will see each of them in detail. So moving to the first layer that we have here is the application layer, and the protocol implemented here is WAE, that is the wireless application environment. Now it contains the mobile device specifications and the content development programming languages like WML. So the wireless application environment offers the software platform environment for the application software. It is built into the micro browsers. It works much like the normal www browsers that interprets the HTML and the JavaScript. And WAE consists of wireless markup language, WML, WML script and wireless telephony network. So the WAE offers the software platform for the environment. The wireless markup language that we have here is the WAP's markup language derived from the HTML, especially for the wireless network characteristics. It is much like the HTML in the World Wide Web. Since it is a document type definition, that is the DTD of XML, it is tag based. It is standard generalized markup language like HTML. The WML script is WML's integrated scripting language, the way we have JavaScript or the ECMA script for HTML. It can control many functions of the browsers and the phone itself by scripts downloaded from the server. And the last one is the wireless telephony application. It is the telephony interface of WAE that can be used to control the telephony functions of the device from WML, WML script or the network, and to invoke the functions by the request from the network. The next protocol that we have is implemented at the session layer, and it is WSP. It provides fast connection, suspension and reconnection. So it is defined for, that is WSP is defined to implement a request response protocol that is much like the hypertext transfer protocol, that is the HTTP. Using this protocol, the client would make a request and then the server answers with a reply that is similar to the that is a response that we call in the HTTP terminology. WSP also includes some features not included in the HTTP protocol. These features are there because of the mobile nature of the WAP clients. For example, a mobile phone which is a client should not lose its connection to the server when it changes the base station. The WSP protocol offers 2 different services that are connection-less and connection-oriented. It is purely to the wish of the client to use either of the services, and this is how the 2 services work. The connectionless services does not remember the context between the 2 consecutive requests. Every request is handled on its own and there is no guarantee in what order the 2 requests will be served. The client has to mark the request with a unique transaction ID, that is the TID, and the server has to add this mark to reply to allow the client to separate the different replies from each other. The next protocol that we have is implemented at the transaction layer and is called WTP, that is the wireless transaction protocol. It runs on top of the UDP, that is the user datagram protocol, and is a part of TCP/IP and offers transaction support. So the wireless transaction protocol is a wireless application protocol's transaction protocol. It works between the session protocol WSP and the security protocol WTLS. It is responsible for delivering the higher layer messages in a way that it satisfies the demand of these upper layers. WTP chops the data packets into the lower level datagrams and concatenates concatenates the received datagrams into a useful data. Since the datagrams are unreliable, WTP uses the techniques like retransmission after the timeout and acknowledgement of the message for providing the reliable services. WTP uses a transaction identifier, that is the TID, in every message. The TID is used to associate a packet with a particular transaction. When the receiver receives a TID that is less than or equal to the TID that is in the buffer, then the message the receiver is getting may be a duplicate or retransmitted message which was lost earlier. Now the receiver will be able to ask the sender if the TID is valid or not. WTP uses primitive error handling in the case of error, say a connection break or transaction is aborted. Now, depending on the demands of the application, WTP defines three classes of transactions, that is class 0, class 1 and class 2. In class 0, the sender sends a transaction to the receiver, but there is no assurance that the transaction will reach its destination. If the transaction reaches the destination, then the receiver will not send the acknowledgement to the sender. In class 1, the transaction provides a reliable datagram service. If the sender does not get the acknowledgement, the sender will retransmit the message after some time. And in class 2 service, the sender and the receiver will transfer the acknowledgements promptly. But the sender and the receiver are capable of retransmitting the message if necessary. The WTP protocol has various protocol features. In some of the protocol features, both the client and the server server and client sends and receives the packets. During this description of the protocol feature, the sender is the one who starts the transaction by sending and invoke the message, and the receiver is the recipient of the message. Some of the features that are included in WTP includes message transfer, retransmission, error handling, segmentation and reassembly, and abort transaction. So what is message transfer? Depending on the class of the service, various messages like invoke message, verification, hold on acknowledgement, etc., result message or the last acknowledgement are the different messages that are transferred. Retransmission of the packets happens until acknowledgement arrives. This happens once the retransmission timer expires. Then the sender retransmits the packet until the sender receives the acknowledgement from the receiver. Linking and separation of the message is provided to the owner. The linking and separation of the message is to provide over the air efficiency. Here, the multiple WTP data units can be present in one datagram, since the data unit of the bearer network. By doing this, only the fewer transactions will be required over the air. The next point is error handling. During a transaction, if a fatal error occurs, the transaction is aborted and the WTP user is informed with the proper abort reason. The next feature is segmentation and reassembly. When the message length is going to exceed the maximum transfer unit of the current bearer, the message will be splitted by the wireless transaction protocol into several packets. There is an optional feature. If the segmentation and the reassembly is not implemented in WTP, then the higher layer in the stack will take care of this operation. And the last feature is abort transaction. This is done when the abort request is made by the application. There are two kinds of aborts. One is where the user requests abort, and the other is where the invalid protocol is. The other one is by the invalid protocol feature. If a particular of the feature is tried and not implemented, then the protocol aborts the request. The next protocol that we have is implemented at the security level, and it is called the wireless transaction layer security. It offers data integrity, privacy and authentication. So the wireless transport layer security protocol is an optional layer providing the secure connection to the upper layers. WTSL does an cryptography-oriented feature of WAP. WTLS handles the decrypting, user authentication by digital signing and the data integrity checking. WTLS is based on the Fixed Network Transport Layer Security, that is TLS, and it is now known as the Secure Socket Layer, that is the SSL. The security layer can be subdivided into handshake and record protocol layers. Handshake works somewhat similar to the transaction control protocols, three-way handshake, with the exception that there is just a request and the response kind of operation only. The handshake allows the client and the server to agree on the cryptographic algorithm exchange and random values and exchange the necessary cryptographic parameters. It can basically verify the security parameters, and the handshake occurs without being tampered with in between. The client sends a hello message containing the protocol version, sets of 0 and the other information explaining how the client wants to encrypt the data. The server then responds with a hello message acknowledging the client. The server then initiates the certificate of exchange process, since the client asked for the server to authenticate itself through the client hello message. After the client receives the hello done with the data from the server, then the client sends a finished message and the server responds with a finished message. This way, the handshake is completed and the client and the server may send and exchange the encrypted data to each other. In the very last protocol in the stack we have is WDP. It is implemented at the transport layer. It presents the consistent data format to higher layer of WAP protocol stack. So the wireless datagram protocol works as the transport layer of the WAP. WDP processes the datagram from the upper layer to format required by the different physical data paths bearers, that may be example GSM, SMS or CDMA packet data. WDP is adapted to the bearer available in the device, so the upper layer does not need to care about the physical layer. WDP actually specifies how the various existing bearer service should be used to provide a consistent service to the upper layer. This is done by adopting the protocol to the underlying bearer. Now, since different bearers have different features, some sections in the specifications are bigger or smaller than other. For example, the section of the IP bearer is very short. As a wireless datagram protocol, one must use the UDP protocol from the IP suite. Now, consider the situation where the bearer B4 is the example of showing how a WDP1 must use the UDP protocol. Now, the bearer service in the telecommunication services that allows the transmission of the user information signal is between the user network interfaces. The WAP protocols are designed to operate over a variety of different bearer services. The bearers offer differing levels of quality of service with respect to the throughput, error rate and the delays. The WAP protocols are designed to compensate for or at least tolerate this varying level of services. And the features that it provides include short message services. It has the ability to send and receive the text message to and from the mobile telephones. The text can be comprised of words or numbers or an alphanumeric combination. Circuit switch data, that is CSD. Most of the trial WAP based services use CSD as the underlying bearer. However, CSD lacks immediacy. A dial-up connection taking about 10 seconds is required to connect the WAP client to the WAP gateway. And the unstructured supplementary service data, that is the USSD, It is a means of transmitting the information or the instructions over a GSM network. USSD has some similarities with this SMS since both of them uses GSM. Unlike SMS, USSD is not a store and forward service and is a session oriented such that when a user accesses a USSD service, a session is established and the radio connections stays open until the user application or the timeout releases it. So this is all about the WAP protocol stack. Now all of these protocols can be asked as a combined question, that is explain WAP protocol stack. Then you are supposed to explain each protocol in short, and if this question is asked and the questions are also asked individually, like explain WAE or explain WTLS, etc. So you have to explain each of the protocol in detail. Now if you have any questions in this, kindly ask. Until then, keep learning.